Welcome to the Bulldog State of Mind podcast, brought to you by the Fresno State Staff Assembly Executive Committee. Here are your hosts, Belinda Munoz and Melissa Norris.
Welcome back to A Bulldog State of Mind. It is officially 2025. It's really exciting to be back here in our recording space, to get to be back here with all of you as our listeners. And you know, it's an exciting year ahead.
Yes, it is.
I think today we really wanted to kind of talk a little bit about where are we going, though, and what does 2025 have ahead, but also how in the world did we get here? So we're going to kind of go backwards and then start moving forward.
Yes.
So let's start with that, of kind of a little bit of background, maybe for some of our new listeners who are joining in to the podcast for the first time.
Sure. So welcome to 2025 to the Bulldog State of Mind. My name is Belinda Munoz, and I am currently the chair of Staff Assembly, and I have been on campus for a little over 11 years now. When I took over as the chair, we had lots of ideas and great things, and then the pandemic hit. And when that happened, the president, everyone was looking at ways to just kind of work through what this new look was going to be. And we also found that in that time, although mental health and wellness has always been on the forefront on campus, we've always tried to make sure that it is something that we, are paying attention to. I think we did a lot of that with our students, and then we realized during the pandemic that our faculty and staff, our campus community needed some assistance with that. You know, we were all just kind of working through the new and the unknown, and this, it was scary, and just so many things going on with it. And within that, the president had put together an initiative called the Alegria Mental Health and Wellness Task Force. The initial, there was a whole group of us that came together, and at the beginning it didn't have a name to it. We just knew that we needed to figure something out and put some things in place for our campus community. And the name Alegria came up, which in Spanish means joy. And in the president's thought behind that was, we need to bring some joy. We need to provide an outlet for our campus community to be able to find that joy again, because so many of us were kind of at a loss, right? And trying to work through navigating through now Zoom. Zoom became our best friend. And how do we do that, right? How do we do that? And so with the name Alegria, it just kind of kept reminding us that with mental health and wellness, it is a very serious topic. And there are so many, avenues to that. But we always want to try to find some type of joy. Yeah. And joy kind of brings us out sometimes of whatever feeling and emotion that we're going through. Even for me, just, if I know I'm going to have an event on campus that morning, I tend to put my music up a little louder. Yeah. I try to do things that are just going to bring me some type of smile and excitement that morning. And that's where Alegria, right? So that's kind of where it came from. And then how the podcast came about was, we were doing little things on campus, but not everyone can get out of their office. Not everyone is on campus at the same time. We did a lot of our events, the hybrid, right? Either come if you could, and then it was, but log in if you can't. And but then we started to go back to, years go by, and we started to go back to a little bit of some normal, right? Normal, or whatever the new normal looked like for us in campus. And so then that's when we started talking about, we don't want to forget. We want to remember that we still need some help and some support. And so the podcast came about where we're thinking of, it's an online tool. It is a way for us to still showcase our campus community. And, I think there's just there's so many things that take place. Our campus is so big and we've got so many things going on that we thought, what a good way to be able to bring people to everyone still online, where they can get to know a little bit about whether it is us, like today, or, any department or anything that's going on with campus. And so that's kind of where it came about. Yeah.
I love it. And I love the recognition and the acknowledgement that so many of our staff getting out of the office is not always an easy thing for them to do. I mean, coming out of the Student Health and Counseling Center, we have our medical providers, we have our counselors who are in patient appointments. And so sometimes, as much as they might like to be a part of some of the great things that are offered, it's not always realistic. And being that we are here to serve our students too, we have to look at those things first and foremost. But I love that this podcast has given us that opportunity for those who are wanting to take and carve out that space, that they can do it on those little small windows of time, and engage and be able to kind of have those reminders. Because like you said, we don't want to take what happened during COVID and this great awareness that came out around mental health and wellness and say, oh, well, COVID's over, so therefore we don't need that anymore.
Right.
This is something we need at all times. And I think when you approached me about this podcast, it was kind of like, ooh, okay, this is interesting. I mean, I've always personally, I think, had that passion for mental health and wellness, working out of the health center and the wellness team. Obviously, it's what we preach and we practice. Right. Well, I'll say it's what we preach, but don't always practice as well. We're works in progress with those things. So the opportunity to be a part of something like this was really meaningful for me, to be able to have a platform to have difficult conversations.
Yes.
And talk about things that might make some people uncomfortable, rather.
Yes. And the last few guests that we've had, we've kind of showcased a lot of what they do in their offices and how they themselves, recognize mental health and wellness, and then what they do for our students. You and I actually had a conversation where we had one of our guests, and you had said, wow, I didn't know that about them. I wish I would have known that before. And that's the whole point of this, is being able to humanize so many of us. The president coming on our very first podcast and talking about how he works through mental health and wellness. I can imagine what his days look like on a day-to-day, and going home and family, and just trying to balance everything, as we all do. We have kids, and for some of us it's not necessarily kids, but it's parents. Like, I have my mom who I help out with. My children are all grown, but I help out with my grandchildren. And, so there's always just things happening. And then we have everything that's going on with work and campus. And so it's good to humanize us and realize that everyone has a lot of things on their plate at one point or another. And we need to be able to recognize that and provide kindness.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, we don't know what that day was like, and or that evening or that week was like.
Well, I think especially in higher education, sometimes it's easy to look at the individuals we see across campus and see them on an org chart, or see them with their title and their department that they work within. But when you get that opportunity to have those individual personalized conversations, go, oh, wow, I didn't know that this person was a student parent. What an incredible experience to learn from, or, having some of those types of conversations that are not necessarily the conversations we're having in our meetings and our committees and things like that. It does allow you to suddenly break down those walls and go, okay, here's that human connection, just like you talked about. And I think if there's one thing that brings us all together and unifies it, it's that we do have our own health and wellness. And we're each spending each day, I think, trying to work hard to maintain and build that. And so I think the more that we have those conversations and acknowledge that it's not all easy. I mean, we see people walking around here that look like they've got it 100% all together. And, maybe some days people think the same about you and I. But, it's that reality. And I think it's something that I try to model with my students, that, like, I'm human and I have days that are not good days and things that are really hard for me to deal with. Not everyone knows my story and the things that I've been through, But when I have the opportunity to share those things and be vulnerable with those, the connections you make are absolutely priceless. I mean, it makes you connected and bonded in an entirely different way from there forward.
You know, what most people don't know about me is, I have had many people come up to me and say, "How do you do it? You're always so happy." And granted, I think generally that's my personality, right? And by all means, I am pretty happy. I mean, I've got a lot of things going on, but that doesn't mean that I don't have good days and bad days. And anytime I'm coming up to a Red Friday that morning, I know that it's like, okay, I have to, I'm going to be speaking in public. I'm going to be trying to provide this atmosphere right for my colleagues, that it takes just a little bit more on those mornings for me. I turn the music up a little louder. I'm in the car. People around me will probably think I'm crazy because I've got my radio blaring in the car, and I've got, some hyped up music, and I'm, dancing and singing, and I'm getting myself pumped up. And I will say, on some of those days, the night before just was really hard for me for one reason or another, or just a long day. When, just like everyone else, when we're out of our office, we still have to make up that work. So if I'm out of my office in that morning, that means the night before I am making sure that things are done so that I can be out of my office that morning. And don't get me wrong, I've got a great boss who is, very flexible and very supportive of the things that I do on campus. I think there's, when they see such a value coming from it, that they're very supportive of it. And so, but that's not to say that, again, sometimes it's just we have to get ourselves pumped up and ready to go. So, yeah, it's a lot.
We so often, I think, talk to our guests about this idea of like, how do they take care of their mental health and wellness? What do they do for self-care? And I know you talked about the music, and I know that's something we've had conversations about many times, but what else works for you, or kind of are your go-tos that you turn to help support your mental health?
Oh, I have a group on campus. So there's one thing. I think our staff assembly team is a huge support for me. We have our group chat. It's always nice to just be chatting in there, and where that gets me motivated. But I also have some really good colleagues and friends on campus that, sometimes we'll have lunch, and it's called our sessions, It's our time to be able to just vent it all out and know that, it's a safe place for me to be able to do that. I share, they share, we share. We say things, we laugh, we cry, and then we pump each other up and say, okay, we could do this. We can get through the week, and we can get through whatever it is that's going on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the people we surround ourselves with and the intentional space we create to spend time with them can make a huge difference. I know after my late husband passed, I had a good friend and colleague on campus who I knew it was safe to have conversations around grief. It's very interesting because when you talk about death and loss, a lot of people, they freeze up. They don't want to talk about it, or they don't know what to say. And so they kind of mutter around it or try to dance around it or move away from it to make you feel more comfortable, when in fact it's kind of that coping mechanism for themselves. And so I kind of found my grief buddies on campus of who are the people that I can have difficult conversations with. And when I have those days, I know exactly who I can call and say, hey, you up for a walk? Can we go take a quick walk on campus? I mean, walking, a lot of people see me walking around this campus. I love my walks. It's a great opportunity to escape a little bit, whether it's on your own, or be able to have those moments, I think, with your fellow colleagues on campus who get it and who want to be there to support you and bring you up and support that.
Yes. And those are important to have because we're human, and emotions can be at any time of the day. It doesn't mean just when you're at home. When you're at work, you can be working on something. You could hear a song. You could, just remember the date. And sometimes dates are just a little trigger. And a trigger, but in a, it's a trigger.
It's
It's
not
not
a bad
necessarily
thing.
a bad thing or a good thing. It's just a trigger. It's just a reminder. It's just something. And that's what we need to be to one another. We need to be a support for one another. And we need to be able to say that today's just one of those days. Or if you ask someone, hey, how are you doing? Ask with and wait for a response. I mean, I know that we have the typical, you're walking by someone, hey, how you doing? Okay. I mean, and that's fine. But maybe we should be a little bit more intentional with that. Maybe, saying something different, just it's okay to just say hi. But if you're asking how you're doing, maybe wait for a response.
Create the space for it.
Yeah.
Agreed. I can't tell you how many times I've run into somebody and we've both mutually, how's it going? And nobody stopped in the process. We both just kept walking in our opposite directions. But you're right. It doesn't open up the space to have that conversation and kind of have a dialogue around it.
Right. And so it's not that it's a bad thing or anything. I just think that things such as that, we just need to be a little bit more intentional with. And this is, a big part of what the Bulldog State of Mind is because we want to remind people of that. So this is part of the reason why we have this podcast is so that we can take the time and the space to remind people to slow down a little bit and be intentional sometimes and, say hello. If you're asking how they're doing, take 30 seconds, just 30 seconds sometimes to say, how are you doing? And maybe you don't have a lot of time then, but maybe that's when you can share, hey, let's get lunch sometime, or hey, let's go for a walk later, or hey, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. And that's okay too.
Those are small things that make a huge difference and don't take as much time either. That 30 seconds can make a difference in someone's day. And I think those are those powerful moments. And again, the reminders I think we need, because I get it. We get busy. We have a lot going on, both professionally, personally, and otherwise, that it's easy to have this kind of sense of tunnel vision, I think, of I'm focused on this. I have this big event. That's all I'm thinking about right now. I go home. Okay, I'm only focused on my kids and supporting them. But I think when we have these spaces to kind of nudge a little reminder, it can be really powerful and support us.
Yeah. So what's the word? Alegría.
I love it.
Joy. Bring some joy sometimes. Bring some joy to others. And be open to others bringing joy to you. Now, that's a whole other topic of conversation because I know I have a hard time asking for help, even though I tend to be offering the help. So take that time and say, I accept it when somebody is asking how I'm doing.
Yep. Well, you talked about joy. We want to talk about some of the joy we hope to bring through this podcast in 2025.
Yes.
I know we've got lots of things we've been talking and dreaming up.
So we have, over the last few months, we've started this conversation sometime last year in the spring and really started working through some stuff over the summer and jumped right into having some guests. And every month we try to be intentional with who we have on the podcast. Whether it is, an awareness month of one thing or another. We try to also provide the information to what campus offers with HR and reminding people that there is that service out there. We try to, Veterans Day, we met with the Veteran Services and talked about all the great things that they do. And so we try to be intentional with the podcast and the information that we are sharing and recognizing the month that we're going into. So we have a lot of other great things that are taking place this semester and then going forward. But we have a group of individuals that help out with the podcast and coming up with ideas and all of that. But we want to hear from our listeners. We want to know what your thoughts are and some of your ideas and things. But we do have some going into the spring, we have some graduates that are colleagues that we're going to be making a call out to and wanting to share some stories and a lot of other great things that we have planned. We also have Dr. Gitima Sharma, who is part of our group, and she will be providing a space where she's going to put some information together and just share it out in little small clips of things, some motivational, just to try to provide a space for some motivation, like the small clips of motivation. So I'm excited to see what comes about that. We're going to do some reels with what we've got going on. And so a lot of other exciting things going on.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, like you said, it all comes down to that importance of mental health and wellness. So I think it's helpful for our listeners to kind of understand a little bit about how do we pick the people who come onto our show. But again, leave us comments. Let us know who you'd like to see on the Bulldog State of Mind. I mean, we'd love to kind of see others' perspectives on what could be really helpful. If there's a powerful story they want to share, or again, like the awareness months that we've talked a little bit about as well. I think we're very open to that. And we have such an incredible team that I think has made this entire podcast series possible. And I want to create some space to just thank all of those individuals. And I think first and foremost would be our president, Saul Jimenez Sandoval, who has supported us from day one when we said, okay, let's do this. What will it take? How can we support you? He has just been, I think, one of our cheerleaders behind this initiative. Even being our first guest on the podcast was a great way to kick off the series. But we also have a lot of people behind the scenes that I feel like our listeners don't necessarily get to see, and I'm peeking at them behind the camera here. We had a lot of time and energy we spent working with Julie Lindahl with KFSR to pick her brain and help us understand what does it take to make this thing work.
Oh my gosh, she was a
the
godsend.
Countless hours that she put into helping us find the right equipment and connect us with the right people. Her energy and her commitment to this has meant so much to us. Her connection with Sorrel Mallory, who you all don't see right now, who's hiding behind the camera with our MCJ department, who has been tremendous with setting us up and helping to produce and make this whole thing possible.
Yes.
But there's also many more who've been behind the scenes. We have Andrew Esquire with Crimin Education, who's also hiding in the background here. We have Caitlin Spencer with Advancement, who's been helping to support a lot of this work. And I know I'm probably missing so many others who have been a part in some way. But I just truly have to say thank you to those individuals for helping to make this happen.
You.
Because they make it all look easy once the production comes out. I don't know how y'all do it, but we appreciate you guys. We thank you. And this is truly the people and the team that make this possible.
Absolutely. If you had me doing what they do, this would not go so well at all.
Well,
but, and I got to say, Julie's hilarious. She's such a big support. And for those of you who know me know that when I have an idea, I'm just like, and then, and it's like the sky's the limit and I want to do all of these things. And then she's like, well, that's cute, but let's pull you in a little bit. This is what we can actually do, and I love that about her. But she was just such a huge support. And yes, I can't thank her enough for connecting us with Sorrel, who has been amazing. And Andrew, Andrew's just our right-hand person. He's just, he is like the jack of all trades, I feel. Like, I feel like he could sit here and do this all day long.
He could fill in for me.
Oh,
he should be your co-host one of these times.
He can share, and he's like his energy is great. But then, he's also so talented when it comes to so many areas. I really feel like he's a jack of all trades.
Well, I think it speaks to the power of collaboration, right? You get the right people together, you can make just about anything happen. And the amazing impact they've been able to make through that time that they've put in. Many of which are putting in extra time just to make this happen and working hours outside of the work time to be able to make this possible. And it just truly means a lot to have so many supporting us.
Well, and, Melissa, I really want to thank you too. When I came to you with this idea. I think initially I reached out because I knew that you had done a podcast in the past. And I was just trying to get some ideas and how and what and where and all those good things. And I had known you for a while, but I think in that setting, I really got to meet a different Melissa. And, I really appreciate you being here with me and taking this on with me. You have no idea what you bring to the table for me. You are fabulous in so many areas. You keep me grounded when I need to stay grounded. You have ideas that are just amazing, and your heart is always in the right place. And I truly love that about you. And I know that a lot of times I do things after hours because I don't have small children at home anymore, but you do. And I'll reach out and then I have to remind myself, like, oh, she's home, she's got her kids. And, you're really quick to say, yes, no problem. I'll get back to you tomorrow or whatever. And, but I appreciate everything that you've done. I thank you for jumping on this bandwagon with me and
happy to be a part of the journey,
seeing where it goes. But also just so much information that you share about mental health and wellness.
Yeah.
And in December, when we were doing the toy drive, I really saw, I know that you have a big heart, but I saw just how much you want to just give and give and give. And if you could help anyone and everyone around you, you would. And I see that, and I know that, and we're blessed to have you.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you.
I can't even say anything in return. I'm just going to simply hold it together, but I appreciate it. Your words mean a lot. And truly, again, this podcast means a lot. And I see the opportunity for us to make an impact with what we're doing, and wouldn't be here if I didn't think that was possible. So I appreciate you very much for everything you've done to make it possible and to advocate for making this happen. That's such a huge part of being able to make initiatives that we can all have dreams, but when we can really get the right people in place to stand behind us, it makes all the difference.
Well, with that, we want to talk about what is to come, right?
Yes.
So, as many of you may have heard during the opening assembly, I shared that this will be my last semester as the chair of Staff Assembly. It has been such a joy to be the chair. I'm not walking away from this yet, but I am going to be passing the baton to the new chair for Staff Assembly in the fall. We are opening up the recruitment this spring, so we will be looking for our new chair. I've talked to a lot of people, and I know one of the things that they always say is, I don't think I could do something as what you've done. And I just want to put it out there that, one, I am not, my predecessor, Katie, was amazing at what she did.
Yeah.
She had a lot of great ideas, and she was amazing. And I felt that same way.
Yeah.
When I took it over, I was like, I can't do this. And she held my hand for a little bit, thank goodness. And I just know that I'm not her, and I kind of made it my own. And so in going into that recruitment, we're not looking for somebody to be me or the things that I've done or how I've done. We're looking for somebody who wants to take on a leadership role on campus. I have met some amazing people by being the chair, and I feel like I know so much more about campus than I wouldn't have known had I not taken on this role. So if anyone is interested in doing that, we're going to be starting our recruitment process soon. And so I hope that, I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
Definitely. Absolutely. I think and just as a whole, if the chair position is not something specific, I mean, staff assembly is an incredible opportunity, and we're always looking for people interested in serving, whether it's volunteering at some of our big events that we've got coming up. I mean, we'll have things like our pancake breakfast coming up in April. I know I'm jumping ahead because we have cool things happening before then, but, there's a lot of opportunities to get connected, and maybe it's not the chair position right away, but maybe it's, joining our team, being a part of the space. We're always looking for that too. So
Absolutely. So we do have some things coming up.
yes, we do.
So we're bringing back Snowfest.
Yes.
Which is so fun and exciting. It's used to be something that they did a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so bringing that back is going to be fun. It's just a day up at China Peak with a bunch of colleagues. We're going to have some prize giveaways. We're going to have some hot chocolate. We're going to have some, snacks and whatnot. And you get to go down the ski lift and do some other fun stuff with your colleagues and your families, which is
Yes.
always important. We want to provide some space where it's, we provide a lot of activities so that we can get connected with our colleagues, but we also sometimes like to, see them in another element and
Yeah.
with their families and stuff. So this is an opportunity for you to bring your families with you and enjoy a day out in the snow. We have Red Friday coming up, Yes, we have Red Friday. And then, as you mentioned, pancake breakfast. So we had changed the name initially to just Vintage Days Breakfast because we had
We didn't
kind
do
of
pancakes.
steered away from pancakes for a little while. Not by choice, but things that just kind of happened. But this year, I believe we are bringing pancakes back. And so those flipping the pancakes will be back. So hopefully more information to come on that. Let's see, what else do we have? We've
Oh
got
my gosh.
more podcasts coming up. We are also looking to do a summer picnic. So that's going to be fun. We don't have all the details on that too, so stay tuned. We will just keep going to our social media, and anything that we are doing is always going to be on our social media or on our webpage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then, of course, Dr. Sharma, who will start sharing some inspirational and positive words soon. So we will get that information out as well. Campus news, social media, our website are always going to be the key places to find out what's going on.
Or if you see us walking around campus, stop us and ask what's coming up.
Yes.
We'll continue to keep you guys updated on each new episode of A Bulldog State of Mind. But I'm excited. Looking forward to 2025.
Yes. Me too. So thank you. And thank you for being with us here this morning.
Thanks for watching the Bulldog State of Mind podcast. Join us for the next podcast in our series, released each month during our Red Friday celebration and available through our Fresno State Staff Assembly Executive Committee YouTube channel.